David had always believed in love at first sight. The moment he saw Linda at a friend's party, he was mesmerized. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever laid eyes on. Her glowing skin, dazzling eyes, and perfectly sculpted features left him breathless. She carried herself with such grace and confidence that he was instantly drawn to her. Their romance was a whirlwind. In just 6 months, David and Linda were married in a grand ceremony. Every day, he would wake up to his stunning wife, who looked effortlessly perfect, even in the mornings. David felt like the luckiest man alive. However, things began to change soon after their wedding. Linda had a strict beauty routine that she followed religiously. She would wake up an hour before David and head straight to the bathroom. She never allowed him to see her without makeup. When he asked why, she simply laughed it off, saying she liked to look her best at all times. One evening, David, who had grown curious and a little suspicious, suggested something he thought was innocent. "Honey, can you go a day without makeup? Just for me. I want to see you in your natural beauty." Linda hesitated. "Why?" "I don't think that's necessary," she replied, avoiding eye contact. "It's just that I love you, and I want to see you in every form," David insisted. Linda sighed and reluctantly agreed. The next morning, she didn't apply any makeup. When David woke up and turned to face his wife, he nearly fell off the bed. The woman beside him looked nothing like the glamorous bride he had married. Her skin was rough and patchy, her nose seemed wider, and her lips, once plump and full, were now thin and dry. Even her eyebrows, which he had thought were naturally perfect, were barely visible. For a moment, he thought it was a prank. "Linda, what happened?" he asked, his voice filled with shock. She looked down, ashamed. "This is me, David. This is the real me," she said quietly. "I have always been insecure about my looks, so I mastered the art of makeup to create a version of myself that the world would admire." David sat in silence, his mind racing. He felt deceived, as though he had married an illusion. "But why didn't you tell me? I thought I knew you." "I was afraid," Linda admitted, tears welling in her eyes. "I was afraid that if you saw me like this, you wouldn't love me." David took a deep breath. He was hurt and confused, but as he looked into her teary eyes, he realized something. Linda was still the same woman who had laughed at his jokes, comforted him on his bad days, and made him feel love beyond measure. After a long silence, he finally spoke. "Linda, I won't lie. This is a lot to take in. But love is more than just physical beauty. I fell in love with your kindness, your intelligence, and your heart. It will take time for me to adjust, but I want us to be real with each other from now on." Linda wiped her tears and nodded. "I promise, no more secrets." From that day on, their relationship took a new turn, one built on honesty rather than illusion. Though the transition was difficult for David, he learned to appreciate Linda's natural self. And Linda, for the first time in her life, felt truly loved for who she was, not just for how she appeared. Their love was no longer based on a mask but on an unshakable truth, proving that real love sees beyond the surface.